The following is a Podbeard production.
EST 2016. This is interviews, music reviews, opinions, and more. This is The Hotter Show.
What is up, everybody? We are rolling audio here today on episode 266 of The Hotter Show here on Podbeard Network. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you so very much for tuning in and clicking that play button on today's episode of the podcast. I have a really fun interview for you here today with my new friends, Ryan and Grim from Please Stand By. And we have a fun time talking all about their starts with music, how COVID has affected them, a really fun chat about influences and kind of the music of our generation, because we are kind of similar in age. One of the funniest lines I think I've ever heard, actually, about Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. You will definitely want to hear that line. It is, it's pretty funny. It's a joke, obviously, but it's actually going to be the episode clip for you guys who are hearing this after the probably Saturday that I upload, like hey, if you missed this week's episode, here's the clip. I had to use it for that because it was just, it was amazing. I keeled over laughing. It was awesome. But on top of that, we also, of course, talk about the band itself, Please Stand By, and how they formed, the recording of their first effort, Trama, as well as their 3 singles that they dropped this year. Mainly, we spend some time and get to hear the brand new single, B.L.M, Black Lives Matter, which we hear near the end of the show there. But also, we talk a little bit about Deliverance, which is actually one of my favorite tracks of 2020. Straight up. It is a badass tune. I really enjoy it. You guys should definitely go check it out. But we, of course, focus on the more recent single, B.L.M. And we just have a really fun time getting to kind of shoot the breeze with the boys. We did have a couple technical issues with internet cutting out and stuff like that. So if there's any weird interference issues or anything, I do apologize. But unfortunately, such is the way when you're doing things social distant here as the COVID pandemic continues to, be a real pain in the ass for your boy here. Because I would love to start doing things in person again, but such is not in the cards. And that's okay, because we are chugging along here on The Hotter Show, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you didn't, be sure to check out last week's episode, in which I, for the second time ever in the history of the show, and she claims the last time ever, I have my wonderful, beautiful fiance on the show for a little Ask Sam Anything, in which she answers questions from you guys. So if you haven't heard that, please go check it out. A lot of people were saying it was so fun because she started off really kind of shy and unsure, but as the episode progressed, she, was the hilarious and fun, entertaining person that I know her to be. And it was just a lot of fun getting to do that with her. And some people said that, oh man, you talk so differently to her. It's so funny. And I'm like, yeah, it's very true. I do. But it was just a lot of fun. So be sure to go check that out, as well as be sure to check out the fine sponsor of The Hotter Show, which you are about to hear a message about. And then we're going to jump into my chat with Ryan and Grim from Please Stand By. Let's get into it. Hey man, is your beard dry? Got some major itch going on, or maybe you are a sufferer from the dreaded beard dandruff. If this sounds like you, I've got the solution. Make your beard the meanest it's ever been with Mean Beard. Mean Beard is an exceptional beard care line offering the world's meanest beard oil, beard balm, both of which come in 5 different scents. They also offer a one-of-a-kind beard enhancer, Mean Whip. Their products are specially formulated with the richest natural carry oils and the finest ingredients to help you grow a glorious, healthy, and full mean beard. Proudly made in Ohio, USA for the meanest beardsmen. Now, I personally have used these products for over 3 years, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that they are amazing, and it has truly helped my beard so much. Not to mention that the people responsible for this company and behind this company are freaking amazing human beings. Can't say enough great things about them. Check out their beard care products, combs, and swag on the web at meanbeardco.com. That's mean, M-E-A-N, beard, B-E-A-R-D, co.com. When you go on there and check out, be sure to use my code MB15TJH. That's all uppercase MB15TJH. And you'll save 15% off your order. 15%. What are you waiting for? Go on there right now, and while you're at it, be sure to check out Mean Beard on Instagram, as well as join Mean Beard's community on Facebook. And always remember, folks, It's not just the beard, it's the attitude. Hi, guys. We've got two of the gentlemen behind, without a doubt, one of my favorite tracks of 2020 thus far. And there's been a lot of badass music. And let me tell you, when I was sent this particular track, which we're obviously going to discuss, I was blown away. And I said, yo, we got to get you guys on the show to have a chat. So joining me right now from the band Please Stand By, we have Ryan and Grim, vocalist and guitarist. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Good,
Thanks,
man. That was
man.
a beautiful intro. Oh my God, thank you.
Thank you.
So humbled right now.
Yeah, for real, honestly. Like, I remember when we were talking about that song and you had told me how much you loved it. I was like, man, I'm so flattered and humbled by this right now. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's an honor to be on the show, man. Thank you for having us.
Oh, well, honor. Wow. Oh, geez. Well, I appreciate that. And I mean, I appreciate you reaching out to me. Anytime someone reaches out to me, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I feel so cool.
It's the same feeling for us, really.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, because I had heard some of you guys' previous stuff, and I liked it, and you guys were like, I have this little list on my phone of bands I'm gonna contact eventually, and and I think Ryan, you had reached out to me saying that you were getting ready to drop a single. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's try and coordinate it, and life and stuff. So we weren't able to coordinate sooner, but when you guys dropped Deliverance, I was like, holy shit, this is a really, really, really good song. And I still rock it. It's still on my, I said this to Ryan too. I was like, man, it's, with all due respect to everyone I have on the show. I love all the music I have on the show. I'm very blessed in that way. But I have one playlist that's my normal jams that I listen to on the regular. And there's my local band, unsigned band jam playlist. And that song made it onto my normal rotation playlist. So I'm that's
that's better than being on a guilty pleasure playlist, I think.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, well, that's the thing with me, man, is I got on my normal playlist. If you go through that thing, the cliche, oh, I listen to everything. No. I go from you guys to Death Clock to to Maroon 5.
I hear that,
seriously,
it's everywhere. I'll go from the Wiggles to Infinite Annihilator, bro.
Yo, the Wiggles slap, man.
They go hardcore, man. It fucking gets me through the day.
Man, that's awesome. Well, we got a lot of ground to cover. Obviously, we're going to talk about. We got a lot of ground to cover. Obviously, we're going to talk about the single I just spoke of, Deliverance, because you guys released it not that long ago. You also released a single earlier this year that I want to discuss. As well as a little bit discuss about an EP you guys dropped last year. And, of course, the most recent thing you guys have released, just literally as we record this last week, a badass new track, B.L.M, which we are definitely going to talk about and discuss. You guys released a badass video for that. But before we get into all that, let's kind of address the elephant in the room for most people right now in the world. How are you guys doing with with COVID and everything going on in the world right now? Obviously, I don't want to dwell on this too much, but how you guys doing with everything going on right now?
Man, it was a lot because as a band, when the year ends, we're guys, this is gonna be our year. We're gonna do all this. We had everything planned, written out, what we wanted to do, and then we just kind of got dick slapped in the face.
Yeah.
And
I think it goes without saying that, not only for us, but for, every band, local, signed, big name, doesn't matter. The pandemic really hindered the music scene just kind of in its entirety.
Yeah.
And it's been a hard year for musicians as a whole. And how we ended up kind of getting through that quarantine period from March to the end of June.
It felt like 3 years, but
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But we were still, talking. We were still,
video calling,
working on new material, coming up with plans for when, we come out of COVID and what kinds of things, we can do to kind of get the band back on track. Yeah. Right. So realistically, the band never stopped. There was just a lot of behind the scenes stuff
Yeah.
still running, right?
We got 3 singles out, this year?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we did get a lot of writing done in between, but obviously, you know, one of the biggest things is we miss playing shows. We miss getting around with all our friends, our other bands, and fucking rocking out, and it's just, you know, it's cool at practice. You can kind of play around with it and maybe have a couple friends, but it's rough now. You know, like we want to play with our bands and our friends, different venues. Some venues actually got shut down this year because everything's been closed, right?
Yeah. I mean, like what our like initial plans were before COVID was we were going to start working on new material for another, you know, EP or album, right? And then COVID happened and we were like, oh, well, there goes that. There's no point in recording and releasing an album when you can't really do anything to support it other than like online, right? Yeah. When you drop an album, you want to play shows, you want to go on tour, you want to get like merch made, and
you want to spread it like a virus.
Yeah, exactly. You want to do all this. You want to do all
soon.
this stuff. you want to do all this stuff, but you can't do it. So we were like, okay, well, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, just a lot of writing and getting shit done without having to go public is what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you just say to everybody, "Hey guys, please stand by." You know, we're
exactly.
Ha. That's TJ's first lame joke of the episode. But it's hard. Like a lot of people that I speak with, especially obviously since March, it's a lot of the same stuff where there are some bands that have literally just completely kept quiet and not done a single thing. And I do get that because it's like they're waiting. But I think, you know, like with what you guys are doing, I think it's smart where still release music, come out with some strong singles. Hey guys, we're not dead. We're still here. We're doing our thing. We're getting ready to hopefully, you know, at the very latest this time around next year, maybe next summer, everything can kind of start to get the groove back a little bit. hopefully sooner.
Exactly.
But
business never dies, right?
Exactly, and that's exactly it, right? Like just because we're not playing shows, just because we're not touring, just because we're not doing all of that, just because, you know, everybody is pretty much on like a indefinite hiatus right now. You still exist. Your band still exists. Your music still exists. You know, your brand still exists.
Exactly.
Right? And it would be, you know, like from our perspective, you know, we talked about doing that too. And at the end of the day, we made the decision of like, no, like there's still a lot of things to do. There's still a lot that we could be working on that can, you know, help us get through the pandemic.
Yeah. And that being said, like you mentioned earlier about people, you know, just not doing a thing and waiting, and other people really grinding. There's been a lot of that from us and our friends and and a little bit of both, you know, like there's days like I'm just with my girl at home and we're just drinking the whole day because there's nothing to do, right? The LCs are open, you go buy a bottle, you have a couple drinks with your girl and kind of just throw the day away, and that's fine. Like everyone needs those days. And then there's other days where we just spend like days at a time actually just writing, getting together, you know, ignoring everyone else, and it's really back and forth. And you know, whatever you're doing to get through the pandemic, do what you got to do, because I know a lot of people are actually having trouble with staying home and their mental health and whatnot. So, you know, if we put stuff out for them, it gives them something to do.
Yeah. And
it's that consumption.
And focusing on the band and working on that through the quarantine especially was like really helpful for us.
I actually think we've gotten a little tighter as friends and a band through this pandemic.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, you would have had to have. Like, it's like you might get together for, you know, and it's hard for someone like me because I've been working the entire time. So like I guess in a weird way of saying, almost my point of view of it is like, I didn't have to sit at home for more than, I think I had maybe 10 days off. So for me, it's like, I'm of that mindset of like, oh man, it'd be great to sit at home for a couple of months until you're doing it. And I'm like, I get so many podcasts done and like all this stuff. And I was kind of like, and then it's like, I talked to friends of mine who'd been at home since March and they're like, nah, like it's not good. So having that tight knit kind of, I guess almost like a unit where you guys are thinking of your brand, you're thinking of, okay, what can we do to keep the ball rolling? You would get tighter because it's like, you might, hey, let's go on a video chat to do this. And it's like, well, how we doing? Oh, having a bad day today with my mental health, whatever. Like today's a hard day. You can't help but in this time we're in right now in this crazy world to kind of get closer with your friends and your coworkers and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, you gotta be there for everyone in other ways of instead of actually being there physically, I guess.
Yeah, of course,
exactly.
yeah.
You know, like there were even a couple days with, you know, the two of us where, you know, like I was at home with my dog and I'm like, yo, you know what? Like I like shoot him a message and be like, yo, I'm having a day, man. Can we like video call and like write something or like work on something or just even like talk about ideas, just anything to be productive and like
exactly
stimulate yourself. Right.
That's it. It's that stimulation that a lot of people aren't getting because they're not having to go to work, right? It's that mental stimulation some people need, right?
For sure. And it was definitely like a really good outlet to, you know, help us get through that for sure. That's
awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it. And we're definitely going to talk more about kind of the band itself and what you guys are doing. But I want to go back a little bit here, a little ways back to when both of you started off your musical journeys. What was the first music that you guys ever heard that really kind of got you into music and got you saying, you know what, like, hey, I want to do this?
I mean, I guess I'll start there. Yeah. I mean, for me, like music has always been like a big part of my life. Like my dad was really like the driving force on like my interest in music, because like my dad has been writing like music charts and blogs and stuff like that like since before I was born. He's got like two published books out of music charts and stuff like that. So I was always being fed, you know, top 40 radio, whatever was current, just as I was growing up, you know. When I think the turning point for me was probably in my like preteen years, because he was listening to all that top 40 radio stuff. You know, I was hearing stuff like, you know, like Linkin Park, I was hearing Korn, I was hearing you know, MCR and Sum 41 and Blink and like all that stuff. And that was the stuff that I really gravitated towards, was the punk and hard rock metal stuff. And then that evolved over time. And for me doing vocals, it started with Slipknot, actually, Corey Taylor. You know, I was already singing and doing all of that to all the stuff I'd previously listed. But then, like, I got first introduced to Slipknot, and it was like it was like Volume 3, Iowa, they're self-titled. And Volume 3 was my introduction to them. And I was like, I love his singing, it's so great. So, like, I'm singing along with him. And then this motherfucker starts screaming. And I'm singing along to the song, and he starts screaming, and I have to stop. And I'm like, yo, I can't do that. But I want to keep singing. Yeah, but I want to keep singing. So how do I learn how to do that? And then it just evolved from there, you know?
Many hours.
That's crazy. It's funny because, like, being, you know, like I don't know exactly how old you guys are, but I'm assuming you're like young millennials-ish, kind of. Given your around that time when they were coming out, Linkin Park and all that, like, that era of music, someone like Corey Taylor, he's so crucial in the sense of that. I mean, that was my first introduction really to someone who could sing so well and then also scream the way he does. And it's like, this is the same guy. Yeah, the dude who does Bother is also the guy from Slipknot. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, so he was my, like, first, like, real inspiration as a vocalist to get into screaming and really dive headfirst into the metal and hardcore scene. And then from there, it ended up, you know, evolving into, you know, like early Bring Me the Horizon, early Parkway Drive, early Devil Wears Prada, you know, and then I got into Whitechapel, and then it just like evolved, and here we are now, you know, 13 years later, right?
Well, it's funny too, because like even like Whitechapel, it's funny you mentioned them, because I was obviously like Whitechapel, one of my first favorite like kind of deathcore bands, but then I kind of got out of them, and then I heard The Valley, which is their latest record, and I was like, wait, this motherfucker can sing too?
Yeah.
I was like it blew my mind when I heard Hickory Creek. I was like, oh, who's doing the clean vocals on this? It's like, it's Phil. And I'm like, it just blew my mind. So it's funny you mentioned him, because like when I heard your vocals, I mean, I think I paid you the compliment where I didn't realize I was giving you a compliment, but I said like, oh man, you're a clean vocalist and your heavy vocalist guys are great. I thought there was two people doing it, because you've got like, oh, is the okay? Sorry, I thought that you had said that. Oh, okay, sorry.
I thought that I do all the screams.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. I thought that. I swear to God, man, I must have been thinking of someone else. But
no, we're not that talented.
Do your research harder, Jesus Christ. But it's funny because like completely shifting gears now from what I was about to say, you guys blend it so well together that I thought it was the same person. So there you go.
We were in a band in high school together.
Yeah,
I was.
Well, you were in high school. I was already out of high school.
And then we took a couple years break doing different bands. We separated to different bands, and then
for about 5 years. Yeah,
about 5 years. And then he called me up one day. He was like, "Hey, you want to start a band?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And we did.
It was that easy. But it's
like, our chemistry linked right away, just like where we left it off.
Exactly.
Oh, definitely. But what still kind of pertaining to what I was going to say, Ryan, like even with you, with your heavy vocals, you've still got a couple different voices going on with the heavier stuff. Like it's not like some guys, they're almost like a one-trick pony, so to speak, where it's like, oh, I can do the really guttural stuff really well, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas like you've kind of got a little bit more going, so it's kind of cool to hear your influences there. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I like to do all the different pitches and the different sounds, the different tones is, a couple different things, right? Like, for one, I don't want to be a one-trick pony.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have just one core scream that I use constantly that, you listen to our songs and they all blend together.
We don't want to bore them out.
Exactly. Being a musician is about being diverse. It's about being versatile.
And growth.
And like even now to this day, after doing vocals for 13 years, right? Like I'm still learning. I'm still learning new things. I'm still trying new tones and, trying out different ways to make demonic sounds with my voice.
I like that.
And that's what it is, right? I like doing the highs. I like doing the lows. I like doing everything in between. It's fun, and if you're not having fun, then what's the point? And then, the other thing too, because like we try to keep our music just as versatile and just as diverse, sometimes one scream that you have just won't suit the sound of a song. It just won't suit the sound of a song. It just sounds out of place. And then it's like, okay, well, how can I do that same tone or that same note, but,
just make it fit.
Maybe pitch it differently or something like that,
Exactly. And then it boils down to experimenting and trial and error, and it's all part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Let me be clear, folks. When I say guys who are one trick pony, I don't mean that as an insult. Because don't get me wrong, there are some one trick pony vocalists out there that I fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
likewise.
I'm doing a lot better than we are.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh God, did you guys hear? Just speaking about vocals, real quick. Did you guys hear? And I've never spoken about this on the show yet. Did you guys hear the new 6 Feet Under song?
No,
I did not.
Okay. Do yourselves a favor, because I wasn't too familiar with 6 Feet Under. I don't remember the vocalist's name. I think he was the original Cannibal Corpse vocalist. Go look up 6 Feet Under. Oh shit! Well, hang on. I can look up the song name.
Those guys do those really funny, like classic rock covers, right? I definitely think I've heard of them before.
No, 6 Feet Under are they're like a death metal.
Yeah. Hang on. No, they did some funny covers like TNT. I see there. By
AC/DC. Was it? Okay, maybe. Yeah. So they released a new record called Nightmares of the Decomposed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the song is called Zodiac.
Yeah.
And oh my good God. Just it's a meme record. Like people are just shredding it, and it's I try to be really positive at everything. So I'm like, I'm sure it's not that bad, And I was like, I could probably do better metal vocals than this guy, and I can't do shit.
My interest, for sure.
Yeah, no, just go check it out. If you guys listening, if you haven't heard Zodiac, go check it out. Report back to me, because I would love to hear it.
Sure. Definitely piqued my interest.
Yeah, I want to listen to that now.
Definitely existed, to be quite honest.
Yeah. I think it was I don't remember the vocalist name. The guy with the dreadlocks used to sing for Cannibal Corpse. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, completely off track here. So, how about you, Graham? What kind of got you started on your musical journey? Some of the first music that you ever heard?
Oh shit, man. So my background is Guyana and Grenada. My parents are from not Canada. So I, growing up, listened to a lot of like soca and reggae.
Okay.
And I knew from a very young age it wasn't what I was into. Like, I did not dig it. It was very different. And I'm obviously the black sheep of my family. They all like that stuff, the happy feely fun shit, and that's cool, and I respect it. But man, we used to run a home daycare, and my mom used to take all of us and the kids to the Pickering Library, and that's when I rented out Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. I got those Big Shiny Tune CDs and stuff and whatnot. And
I still have one somewhere.
Right? Man, and those things got me into a lot of different shit, but I only picked them out because of the art. I thought they looked cool. Did not know what I was picking up. Never really heard metal or rock or nothing like that. Brought it home, and I instantly got a boner. Like, as soon as I put in Hybrid Theory, that's
right away. First note.
Oh yeah, the fucking 0.3 seconds of the song came on. I was like, why am I hard? But yeah, fucking Hybrid.
That's the quote of the episode right there.
Why am I hard?
That's the clip, by the way. That's the clip I'm using. I heard it. I instantly got a boner. Why am I hard?
But yeah, fucking Chester Bennington, as soon as I heard him come in, because he can go from pretty to fucking aggressive, and I was like, I like this. It made me feel something. I was fucking hard, and it was the first time I ever heard like more heavy music. So that band was the first band that got me into everything that I am today. And then, after getting a couple Big Shiny Tune CD, I heard Backcountry by Avenged Sevenfold, and I was like, holy God, I need to learn how to play guitar. So I picked up the guitar. I didn't really do a lot of singing, but I did a lot of shower singing when I played those on my CD player back in the day in the bathroom.
I think we all did.
Yeah, so I didn't really have a lot of experience, but when I joined this band, we knew what kind of sound we wanted to go for. So we actually had a female singer. Her name was Amber. I actually am doing a side project with her. And she went more into the punk kind of route. We went more metal, so we ended up just parting ways. And the guys all fucking looked at me and was like, guess who's singing now? And I was like, fuck man. So I only really learned to sing during the recording of Trama, that EP, and then I've been building since then.
Yeah, I think it had only been maybe 2 months before we actually recorded the EP.
Fuck man,
that you had started doing it.
Yeah, and it was only because someone had to. That's how we wrote the music. Someone had to do it.
Yeah, and me personally, I can do both. I'm a little out of practice with my clean singing, but I can do both. But I've never been a fan of doing both in bands. For me, it's either I'm going to do one or the other.
Yeah.
And so that's why we kind of looked at Damien, and I was like, I'm not doing both, so guess who's singing?
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing. Definitely. And it's a cool thing to have the two vocalist vibe too. I've always been fans of bands that do that. For whatever reason, I see two people doing vocals and I'm like, that's cool. I dig it. Unless there's two guys screaming, then it's okay. That's again, that's a joke.
Some bands do that. Well.
I know a band that does that, so that's why.
I hear you. But yeah, going back, so it was Linkin Park, Avenged Sevenfold, Slipknot. That was our age group kind of shit growing up. Mm-hmm. I liked all of it, and I remember actually even Protest the Hero. That got me into a lot more prog on one of the Big Shiny Tune CDs. That changed the game for me a little bit, and I really tried to get a little more progressive in my writing after hearing that, but my God, it's a journey. Definitely
so. And you guys had mentioned that you were in a band together in high school. What was up with that? I want to hear all about it. Come on, lay it on me.
Oh man,
I'm sure you don't, but I guess we don't have a choice here.
Yeah, I mean that's a bit of a loaded question. I mean, me personally, I was already out of high school for about a year or two.
Yeah, this guy's like
when,
60 or something.
When that happened. I'm not that old. Fuck off. Yeah, so
57. God.
Actually, I'm 11.
Yeah, so I had already how old was I when we did that? I was 20. You were still what, like 17, 16, 17?
I was in grade 10, so I was like 15 16. Yeah,
I'm not that much older than you.
I know, I was joking.
Yeah, so I ended up becoming the vocalist for their band. And how it happened was because our former guitarist was his ex-girlfriend told me that your band was looking for a vocalist and that I should go audition.
Yeah, and we went through a hell of a lot of vocalists before running into you.
Yeah.
And once you came in, I was like, yep, I like it. And then you stuck. Yeah.
But then we ended up having some conflict with one of our other band members, and then the band...
High school drama.
Yeah, and then the band ended up splitting up. We went our separate ways. I went with two of the band members and founded the band I was in previously to this. That was around for 5 years, and then you parted other ways with our former bandmate. And then you went and did your own band.
Yeah.
After that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think we were only a full band for, like, with me included, for, like, 3 months? 4 months?
Yeah, it wasn't that long at all.
Something like that.
We got maybe, 5-6 songs or something done.
Yeah, and we played that show in Belleville.
Yeah, we played in front of, 3 people.
we played.
Yo, for a debut, that's not bad.
Right?
I mean, for me being 15, I was like, oh my God, I'm playing shows. Holy shit.
Yeah.
There's so many people here, bro.
So many people. There's 5 of you.
Going around telling my friends, yeah, I play shows. I played in Belleville. And they're like, okay, I don't care.
We played the Punk and Metal Fest 2014 in Belleville. And that was a good time. That was like our introduction into the local scene kind of as a band.
Yeah, we live around Ajax Pickering, so we had to drive almost 2 hours to get there.
Yeah.
And then we played 4 or 5 songs in front of 3 people and went home. It was
plus the other bands.
And it was so weird because it was so huge for us.
Yeah, it felt a lot bigger.
Well, it's a cool festival. Punk and Metal Fest. Oh, this is cool. You know, it probably felt like there was more people there at the time, but then once you look back, it's like, no, there was 3 people.
Yeah.
There were 3 actual audience members.
Yeah, and then just people just drinking at the pub, ignoring us.
Everybody else was just bands.
You stop! You screaming!
I'm trying to order my craft lager. God damn it!
Right?
Put your fucking hands up! No!
I want to see a fucking circle pit. Dude, there's 3 of us. You're getting a triangle at best.
I need to see a circle triangle right now.
Right.
If you don't have stories like that, though, are you even a real band? Let's be serious. Come on.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, like what we said earlier, I think we're gonna write a song called "Why Am I Hard." That's gonna be our next single.
Why am I hard?
Why am I hard?
I doubt it.
Probably goes out to every 16-year-old in high school going through puberty.
The second they hear Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. What's a trip is the fact that still to this day.
Oh, I still bump it, dude.
Well, that too, but there are kids that they still Hybrid Theory is still that record for them, for so many people.
Oh yeah.
I'm still all these years later, Chester's been gone for God, how long is it? 3 years or 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
I think it's 3 now.
And he's still, that legacy is still being carried on over to the next generation. So it's crazy that that's probably the most, as far as when I talk to people on the show about influences and stuff like that, Hybrid Theory and Linkin Park are probably number 2.
It really doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, they really changed the game a lot, because the name of the album, Hybrid Theory, they changed.
It was the genre blending.
Yeah, they blended a lot of different shit. Every album was different and progressed in a different way that we all sat there, enjoyed, and respected. And rest in peace, Chester. We all fucking miss you. Mm-hmm. I was actually at work when I heard the news, and I almost cried, dude. I had to do. It took a lot to not fucking let it out at work.
I actually called in to work that day.
Yeah, man, I was already there when I found out, so I just had to endure through the day. I was like, no, like he's the reason, like I'm who I am.
Yeah, like he was one of the vocalists that did start getting me into like the harder side of hard rock, right? And yeah, when like I did actually call into work that day when I heard the news, and I was like, yeah, no.
Just had a death in the family. Like
Really,
seriously, it's not even a joke. Like it's like, I mean, you know,
really what it felt like.
Yeah, like when you look at Chester and what he, number one, could do. I mean, for God, like you look at, especially some of that early stuff, like with his scream and stuff. I remember, there was, I don't remember. I think it was I was watching something on MTV. This is how long ago it was. It was right when they released the video for. Oh God. Oh no.
Was it animated?
No, it wasn't. Wasn't Breaking the Habit.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh no, they were on stage. No, it was earlier. I think it was Hybrid Theory. No. They were on stage performing with their backs to the camera. Oh God. Oh no.
Oh shit.
There's the bridge where like they go super heavy and he just screams.
To be fair, they do that a lot.
Oh no.
One step closer, maybe?
No. Oh, what the hell?
Underground scene in that video. Points of Authority, Place for My Head, With You, Crawling.
I can't remember the fucking what video I'm trying to think of. I think it was they were critiquing it or something, and they had said, my favorite part about this whole video and this song is when Chester lets out that long scream,
giving up,
and he literally sounds like there's like three people. There's like three different voices in that scream.
The screams are so unique.
Yeah,
you can hear like he's letting out like 2-3 different sounds with that scream. It's almost impossible, but he fucking did it.
Yeah.
This is bugging the shit out of me. I got to figure out what song I'm thinking of.
He does that long.
No,
that long like 13.
I think I'm thinking of like 2 different songs right now.
Ah, damn. No, you're not going to get it. We're going to fucking end this interview and be like, oh, it was that song.
Yeah. And literally like hum it to myself, the guitar and everything.
Faint. That's Faint.
Faint. Oh my God. Yeah, Faint. Yeah. How did I forget Faint?
Yeah, that's Meteora, I think.
That's yeah. That's like my favorite Linkin Park song.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This is me. This is why I suck as like a podcaster, because I'm always like, I forget stuff as I'm talking about it. I'll be like,
oh, actually, that was kind of fun.
What's the name of my show before?
That was actually kind of fun trying to figure out what's in your head.
So in the video for Faint, at the end of the bridge, he goes like, right now, and it's not a super long scream, but it's like,
hear me out now.
Yeah. And everyone's like,
listen to me like it or not.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, like he's literally sounds like there's like 3 different voices in here.
Yeah,
like, that's cool. Then obviously Breaking the Habit, like that's, I mean,
yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, is he really that? Like, oh, who's this Chester guy? Is he really that great of a vocalist?
Yep.
Listen to Breaking the Habit and
no doubt
go from there.
It's hard to say anything bad about his vocals. He went from very soothing to very aggressive to a low range to a high range. Like he did a lot of it. He did almost everything.
Mm-hmm. I remember 12-year-old edgelord Ryan.
Edgelord
getting into an argument. Getting into an argument with my parents and then storming up to my room and blasting Linkin Park because fuck you.
Is that how you got that's how he got his stage name, Ryan Rebellion.
Okay, I have a question for you though. Did edgelord Ryan wear short sleeve shirts on the long sleeve shirts on their short sleeve shirts?
No.
Okay. Did he wear Affliction?
No.
Really? Okay.
No, I wore MMA Elite instead.
Okay. You're a little younger than me. Okay, yeah. That's.
I mostly wore lingerie.
Fair. It's cool too. You know. Hey, man. No judgments.
Going out.
Just going out public in lingerie.
Man, you do look good in lingerie. I can't lie.
Oh, Dad.
I mean, I was going to ask you what product you use in your hair because it's very, volumey.
What this is towel drying.
Ah, that's the key right there. Towel dry. That's awesome. Well, obviously, talking about the early days and having some fun talking about influences and that is always a good time. But I want to discuss with you guys a little bit more about your guys' current project, obviously the new singles and that. Before we do, we're just going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back with Ryan and Grim from Please Stand By. We'll be right back. All homes have signs of life, and well, they aren't always as pretty as you think. The hallway walls still show the scuff marks from that time you were absolutely convinced that that bed frame would fit. The trim in the bathroom stained from that time your favorite feline just had to get a better look at your new nail color. And then, of course, there's the spot in the kitchen from that dreaded pasta sauce incident a couple years back. And, well, you get the picture. Make your house feel new again with a fresh coat of paint from Kale Riddick Painting. Offering expert interior and exterior painting, no residential job is too big or too small. Proudly serving Quinte, Ontario, and surrounding areas, Kale Riddick Painting will restore your house back into a home. They also do work on new additions or new builds. Contact them today at Kale Riddick Painting on Facebook, or you can contact them at 613-929-7085. 613-929-7085 for a quote today. And be sure to let them know that Hodder sent you. All right, back here with Ryan and Grim from Please Stand By, and we've been having a good time chatting about obviously how COVID has affected them, kind of their early starts with music, influences, and all that fun stuff, playing in bands in high school. Hybrid Theory getting Grim's dick hard, of course, as well.
It always does.
Might be
to this day, every listen.
Might be one of my favorite quotes ever said on this podcast, I think, and that's saying something. But yeah, I think maybe for sure. Oh, geez, but obviously, with you guys, I want to discuss the formation and kind of the early days of Please Stand By. How did Please Stand By come to be?
Okay, well, so it kind of happened because my former bassist, both of this band and my previous band, and basically almost every other band that I've been in since I've gotten into music, he's my best friend of 14 years. He was no longer in the previous band that we were in together. But him and I, whenever we hang out, it's just kind of part of our friendship that we just write music together because we just enjoy writing music together. And then we realized that, okay, well, we're two guys. We have no experience in programming drums, in recording, and literally any of this. So we have no outlet for this music that we're writing. What do we do?
Oh, so you're using me.
No, and
the truth comes out.
What ended up happening was we needed, we were like, okay, well, how about this? Like, let's start a new band, And so then that was when I called up Grim and was like, hey, we're starting a new band. Do you want to jump on board?
Starting to feel violated.
You're only now starting to feel violated.
That's gonna be the story that gets picked up on the news sites, by the way. Turns out Grim's just being used for his recording purposes.
Grim, common whore.
A common whore. I feel
okay.
Violated.
It's okay. You're my whore.
He's touching my leg.
Bad touch.
Yeah. So I called him up and he jumped on board, and then he called up our rhythm guitarist, George, who then brought our current drummer on board. And that
domino effect.
Yeah, domino effect. Everything just kind of fell in line. And then after that, we got in touch with Amber, and then she joined for the brief stint that she was with us. And that was basically how the band started. It was just a domino effect of everything lining up.
Yeah. I mean, we have a new bassist now.
We have Jordan,
Two Sheds.
Yes.
And he's been a lot of help and just almost a perfect fit for us. We got rid of John having musical
differences.
Yeah, differences. He was
creative differences.
First basis. It took us a while, but we got the right basis, and it just feels like family now.
Yeah, we were bassistless for like a year almost.
We were playing shows and everything still without a bassist.
Yeah, we recorded Trama without a bassist.
Yeah, I had to fucking do it all.
Which if you're not really a fan of playing bass, is not fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I played bass in high school, so it wasn't too bad to pick up, but I'm obviously more a guitar player than anything.
Yeah, but that was the start of the band. That was how the band formed. And then John, our bassist, ended up leaving due to those creative differences. Then Amber left, and now we're here.
Awesome. Well, so as far as you had mentioned, obviously the first EP you guys dropped, Trama. So how was that process? Like you guys mentioned earlier, Graham, how like you had been singing for I think you said 2 months before you guys started recording. So how was that and kind of the process for that EP?
Well, this is going to be fun.
It was, we were just writing how we felt at the moment, how some of our friends were going through a lot of different things. So we wrote to give them a voice.
Yeah, and all the things that we'd been through ourselves.
And it was a lot of very traumatic things. So we just named the album Trama because we just gave everyone's trauma a voice, at least for our friends. And hopefully everyone else who can relate to it, knows they're not alone. Like people are out there going through different things. And, I think just hearing that there's songs out there and literally any kind of content that shows it makes them just feel less alone and makes them feel like they have a voice too.
Yeah, I mean, trauma is a huge, huge, aspect in everybody's life. Everybody goes through it, right? And it's something that everybody can connect with and relate to. And, just like I'm sure even for you, TJ, the bands that we all grew up listening to, made us, feel like we weren't alone, like we weren't the only people going through the things that we were going through. And, in our music, what we want to do is we want to give to our audience and our listeners the same thing that the bands that we grew up listening to gave to us when we were growing up. And the process of writing that album was, I mean, it had its ups and downs.
There was a lot of it was
fun.
It was the first time we wrote something as a band, like that album.
Yeah.
So we all had different ways of doing it, different ideas, different thoughts, and it was that bonding album for us because we threw in all of our experiences, but we also threw in all of our creative ideas and writing. So it kind of showed us all like how we write, what we do, and it connected us, and it actually helps us like write together after that. It helped us develop how we write with each other, what we like, what we can work with, what we can learn,
how we work in the studio together.
And going back to what you asked, I feel like it was even less than 2 months when they made me the singer, and then we went and recorded that goddamn album.
Yeah. Walked into the studio. By the way, you're doing vocals.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, really. And when it came time, I spent the 2 months maybe practicing like a lot. I went home, I watched videos, I practiced in the shower, I annoyed my parents, I did all of it. Like I took it very seriously. I actually quit smoking while we were writing that album just to help my vocals grow, and I haven't been smoking since then, and I feel like it's been helping me a lot, especially with my breathing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I'm still growing, I'm still learning, but man, it was I just had to dive into it and do it. And I've never done anything like that before.
The process of writing Trama, like I said, there were a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of fun that we were having at rehearsal, at the shows we were playing leading up to the recording and release of the album. We had a lot of great times, but, just like with every band, and I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard this, there were also a lot of downs. There were a lot of times where we get on each other's nerves and just want to fucking just like throttle each other to death. And, both, at like rehearsal and like writing as well as like in the studio, but, it's all part of that process.
Just the growing process and learning.
Right. It was definitely a fun EP to do.
It was something we needed to do.
Yeah.
Just as a band, and something we wanted to do for our friends. And I think it came out all right.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's still, like I made the comment to Ryan earlier when we started talking, how like it's a very, like with what you guys have now, like with what you guys have dropped this year, the focus seems a little more clear. You know what I mean? Like just that tiny bit more polished where you know exactly what you're going for. Whereas with Trama, it's a great record, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but
Thanks.
compared to what you guys are doing now. It's just a little more. Okay, this is what we're really going for.
A little more put together. Like technically, or theoretically, it was a hybrid of all of our ideas for Trama, because it was the first thing we worked on together. So we all threw in our 2 cents and riffs and ideas and whatnot, and that's what happened.
It was just a giant melding pot.
Yeah, whereas now when we write, we're like, we're going to go for this kind of sound, or we're going to write about this, and then we're all on the same page of like how we want the songs to sound before we write it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess Trama, we didn't do that at all.
No, we didn't.
It just came out whatever we felt.
Yeah.
Which definitely has its place too. And I mean, you look back at every band, their first record, you know, a lot of them, they're still trying to find their sound and exactly what they're going for, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely not like it's a unique thing for sure.
Yeah.
But then
it was that for us for sure.
Definitely. But then obviously from there, you guys, earlier this year, you dropped a single, and I'm going to say this the full way because it seems like it kind of needs to be. Please stand by ... for further instructions, which I dig that. That's really cool. I saw that and I was like, yo, I dig that. And then obviously from there, you know, Deliverance, B.L.M, of course. But looking back on when you guys dropped For Further Instruction, I mean, that was in January, correct? So that was almost another lifetime ago at this point, almost.
Honestly, we dropped that right before like this pandemic stuff happened. So it like really worked out because the song is about zombies and virus and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask that. I was like,
we did not know what was coming. We didn't know. We didn't start the flag, I promise.
I figured it out, guys. It was these motherfuckers right here.
Conspiracy theory.
As shitty as the virus is and whatnot.
Yeah.
I guess the one good thing about it, there is no good thing, but if you're going to be positive about it, it worked with the song release.
It did. Coincidentally.
Yeah.
That is actually really funny because I was going to ask about that because I'm like, and then, you know, from there, like there was a few month period where there was nothing. So it's like, hey, man, I'm still waiting for further instruction. What's going on? Like, what's with this virus shit? What's going on, man? But
and then, damn, we got it.
Everyone says The Simpsons predict the future. Nah. No, I know who really predicts the future here, guys.
Man.
Well, that's cool. But even like, you know, comparing that to Deliverance, like, did you guys record that all at the same time or was that?
No.
Okay.
No.
What do you mean by that?
Like, did we record the songs at the same time and then just release them?
Oh, no.
Like, did you, I didn't know if you guys had like, you had something ready to drop. I know you had mentioned earlier, like, you know, we're going to do this, put some stuff out, but we're not going to go super heavy because we can't tour or anything to support a record. So I didn't know if you guys had it all recorded at once or.
No.
It was separate. We kind of wanted to focus on one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
So that's what we did. But
yeah, and how like Deliverance ended up getting released when it did that was part of like one thing that we were talking about while we were in quarantine, right? When we were talking about like there's no point in dropping another EP or doing a full LP. So, you know, what do we do going forward for the time being until things kind of sort of start getting back to normal-ish? And then we landed on the idea of, okay, well, let's just do some singles. That way we can still, you know, get music out, we can still get content out, we can still, be active and, you know, not let this hold us back as much as it has some other people, right?
Yeah.
And it's cool because like Deliverance, I mean, that was, I don't know if I mentioned this in the intro, guys, but that's the song that was like, you know, it's really like one of my favorite songs of 2020.
Did you ask yourself, why am I hard?
That came later.
You know what? We're going to try and write a song one day that's going to do that to at least one person, and I can die happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you were hard, I hope you came later.
God. Oh, and this will be his last interview with us.
No, this has been a lot of fun. I
think it would be.
Man, you should see us. You should see us as a band.
I think it would be his last interview us if we blue balled him.
Oh God.
No, you will never be as bad as my homies in shouts to Harmonic Dissection.
Oh,
Worst,
yeah.
worst
me
interview.
too.
Let me be very clear. I love those guys, but it's like a running joke. So I had Kyle and I can't remember the name of the two guitarists at the moment.
Daryl and David.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it was two D's. I couldn't remember their names. I had the three of them
Double
on.
Ds.
Double D's, Kyle and the double D's. I had them on, and I had forgotten that we would do the interview that night because I fucked up, and I was already like half in the bag, which I never do when I'm doing a podcast.
Hey,
So I was
it works.
yes, so I was half in the bag, and they were half in the bag as well, but they were all in the same room.
Yeah.
So it was just it was about an hour of me just basically listening to them like shit on each other and like just give each other shit, and like it was just
classic band shit.
oh, it was so much fun. I thought it was awesome. People were like, this is the worst interview you've ever done, and I'm like, it is, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So
That's all that
yeah,
matters.
shouts to the homies. That's good times for sure.
Yeah.
But obviously with Deliverance, there's a little bit more of again, like with having so much clean vocals in the song compared to maybe some of the stuff you guys done before. Like obviously the clean vocals were there, but like there's almost like a little more of a polished. Yeah. That's kind of the word I'm looking for, I guess. It's almost like the cleans are the lead, but then obviously you still come in with that heavy bridge, which is
You gotta.
y'all can't see it, but I just raised the old horns.
I personally feel like as far as like our music goes, like Trama, like the title song of the EP definitely had like more predominant like lead clean singing.
Oh yeah.
You know, because there's only that one like breakdown that I do in that song.
That's true, yeah.
But Deliverance, I feel like vocally between the two of us is our more balanced, like it's our more like well-rounded song.
Oh yeah.
You know, because we both get an equal amount of vocal time in the song.
Yeah, and the way the song's written, it just works. That's what we needed to do for it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, that song was also a lot of fun to do. I love that song.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's definitely a great song for sure. Then obviously from there, the most recent single you guys dropped on later the 27th, as you folks are hearing this, you dropped a video for it, which you should go check out because it's a really, really cool video. And I'm expecting you guys to have some things to say about it. Obviously, everything going on in the world right now, a lot of people they're taking a stand because they're just fucking sick and tired of the way certain things are going right now. And obviously with you guys, with B.L.M, what's up with that single? Give me the rundown on how that all came to be.
I mean, the title speaks for itself. Black Lives Matter. We definitely are. We believe in it, and we want to kind of do it in a way that isn't so, you know, aggressive or violent. We just want people to know, like, we care about this, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna say something about it. We couldn't hold it back anymore.
Yeah, there are a lot of musicians out there, I find, that, you know, decided not to say anything, or they just decided to follow the trend or just say very little about their feelings on the matter, because depending on their platform, you know, they didn't want to end up like under fire. Maybe they you know, don't want to take such a political stance on their platform, which is, you know, understandable and respectable. But for us, it was more a matter of, no, we feel strongly about this.
Yeah.
This isn't right, and we have something to say.
Yeah, like we said about Trama, we just want to give people a voice. You know, and we were able to do that for some of our friends in Trama, and it's like, you know what? Why stop?
Yeah.
Definitely. Giving a voice to something that you feel strongly about and being just unapologetic about it. Just be like, hey, we're not going to, you know.
Shout out to Aton for doing that video for us.
Oh my God, yeah.
And Devin
Like,
for
It's a badass video.
Yeah, Aton from Her Majesty the King did that video, and he banged it out of the park.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Also, shout out to Devin Grote of Pillars of Autumn. He makes us sound way better than we actually are. He produces us.
Straight facts.
Nah, he's great.
Yeah, they're both great guys to work with, and it was you know, it's always a pleasure working with the two of them. But yeah, it's you know, having a platform like music, it's all about having a voice. And if you're not using your voice to stand up for the things you believe in my opinion anyway, then what is the point of having that platform?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has a voice for different things, but we choose to use ours for just to better out there, because it's kind of wild out there right now, man.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
that's exactly that was the whole point of the song, was to be like, hey, we're not afraid to say something.
Yeah, and like a lot of it was making us mad, the things we were seeing. So we put that anger and aggression into B.L.M. I think B.L.M. is one of our heavier ones that are out.
Definitely, yeah.
All that aggression came out into sound, and we just ran with it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's even in the lyrics of the song, right? I will not stand idly by.
Yeah.
Right?
I just saw the sign behind you. Move your head again. It's where words fail, music speaks.
And that's perfect. That's exactly it.
That's it, man. There. That's it. And it's funny because, like, you were mentioning about a lot of musicians are kind of like almost like scared to say anything. But what's been really cool is a lot of the metal community has been just the polar opposite, where they're just like, no, we don't really give a shit. Shouts to Rob Flynn and Jesse Leach, who really didn't give a shit, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna release some music," and they just got shit on, and they're like, "We don't really care." Like, God damn, Rob Flynn was going on like his Facebook Live every other day talking shit about like all this stuff. It's like, man, they don't care, because if you have a voice, you should use it, and you should talk about the things you believe in. It's so important.
Speaking of what you said, mostly metalhead saying stuff, and I think the reason for that is metal projects a lot of like aggression, and a lot of the things we want to talk about are things we're riled up about. It's better to take it out with aggressive music.
Yeah,
it speaks to it more,
Yeah, and going back to what you said as well, like the metal community has never been afraid of taking on subject matter and topics that other platforms are too afraid to kind of traverse through. Because simply of the fact that we don't care. Like we care, but we don't care about what other people have to say about what we say. We'll just say however we're feeling, completely unadulterated, unfiltered, and unapologetically. This is how we feel. We don't like what's going on in the world right now. And this is what we have to say about it, whether you like it or not.
You get what you get.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, with that, we're going to jump into the track here right now. Crank it up. This is B.L.M. by Please Stand By. All right, guys, there you have it. That was BLM by Please Stand By. Hell of a track. And of course, you guys can check out the video for that right now on their Facebook page, as well as it's on the YouTube as well, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's out on Spotify now as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's out on YouTube, Spotify. It's everywhere where you can stream and listen to music for free.
Awesome. Very, very good. And again, shout out to you said it was Anton from
Aton, yeah.
Aton. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, shout out to him. Very badass video for sure. So go check that out. So obviously, before we go here, is there kind of anything else coming up that you guys want to talk about right now? Or obviously, you guys literally just dropped a single, so that's probably.
Yeah, we weren't planning on letting people know what we were up to.
Okay.
But you want to say anything?
All I'm gonna say is we've got some things going on in the works over here, and just if you like our stuff and you want to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube, just check out at Please Stand By CA, and we'll keep you guys posted on what we've got coming next.
Awesome. Very, very good. Well, it's been a blast talking with you guys. Thank you so much for coming on and for releasing such badass music. We'll definitely have to do this again. It was a lot of fun. Grim, Ryan, Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
You too.
All right, guys, there you have it, my chat with Ryan and Grim from Please Stand By. Hope that you guys enjoyed the chat. It was a lot of fun getting to shoot the breeze with them. Definitely a very, very fun time. Even with the, couple of issues there at the end. It was hilarious because I had a little bit of a time constraint on me. So I literally had like 5 minutes before I had to literally leave for work. And right as we were ending, their internet cut out completely. And we couldn't figure out what was wrong. And then the microphones weren't working on their end. We couldn't figure it out. So if you guys noticed that the last couple minutes were really, really rushed and I sound panicked, that's why. It's because I was running in the red and I was like, boys, I gotta go. Like, we got our motor. But it was a lot of fun. Thanks so much again to Ryan and Grim for coming on the show. Be sure to go check out Please Stand By on the social medias. They did list them there, and I'll try and make sure I list them down below or that I tag them in the social media posts. Well, yeah, be sure to follow The Hotter Show on all the social media platforms. We have the Facebook and the Instagram at The Hotter Show. Be sure, of course, to check us out wherever you find your podcast. Hit that subscribe button. And also, real quick note I want to mention here, I did have someone say that there was a feed issue, apparently, with the app that they use, which I'm not going to shout here because I actually am not really a fan of that app. Let me be very, very clear when I say this. Check out the show on different platforms. Me personally, I use Spotify a lot. I love Spotify. Spotify has never let me down, knock on wood. But also the Anchor app, which is Anchor is the site that the show is hosted on. It's a totally free app to use. It doesn't take up a lot of space. You can download shows on it. It's super easy. Go check that out. Apparently the app in question has issues a lot. So I do implore you to check out other apps because you can find this show on I think it's 13 different apps right now. So if you have a podcast app, search The Hotter Show. You'll find this on there, but maybe download a couple of extra free ones. I do enjoy the Spotify, like I mentioned. Anchor's great, as well as Podcast Addict is another one I've been known to use quite a bit there. Or you can always find the show on YouTube, or at least clips of the show on YouTube. But you can even listen on a browser on the old website there, Podbeard Network website. Go check out The Hotter Show on there. As well as, I believe, Anchor, you can actually listen on the web browser as well. So something to think about. Or literally message me and I will send you the audio. Okay? If that's how desperate you are to listen to the show, I will literally send you the MP3 file. Okay? Either way, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, my friend. Let me know that there was an issue with that I needed to address. Just like I appreciate my hotheads, my Patreon supporters, my boy Scotty D and Will from Rolls Royce. Thank you guys so much for all your support. check out the Hotter Show Patreon, patreon.com/The Hotter Show. Become a member of that exclusive community there. I got more stuff cooking now that I'm not going to be burning the candle at both ends. After hopefully this upcoming weekend, I will hopefully have a tiny teensy little bit more free time on my hands to that's a fun joke, free time. Like Sam said, what is on last week's episode saying that it takes up a lot of my quote unquote free time, which is just fun because I don't like having free time. I like keeping myself busy, but either way, I am going to be getting the podcast that I was doing on there started up again for sure. That is going to happen very, very soon. Probably next month, I'm going to get it going again and try and make sure I keep up on it. As well as hopefully some more video stuff coming there that you can't find anywhere else but on the Hotter Show Patreon. For like literally $1 a month, you can help support the show. Check it out. I definitely appreciate it. As well as check out the sponsors of the Hotter Show, Jaybird Digital Arts, who takes care of all my logo needs, my t-shirts, banners, social media stuff. The interview promos you see, he does all that for me. Jason, thank you so much for all your support, man. Check him out, jaybirddigitalarts.com, as well as on the social media, Jaybird Digital Arts. Of course, Mean Beard for keeping my beard feeling and looking awesome. And of course, my man, Kel Riddick Painting, who, is a great friend that does fantastic work. I unfortunately have not had to use Kel Riddick Painting at this point because I don't own a house. But if I did, you bet your ass that I would use Kel Riddick Painting. Check it out, Kel Riddick Painting. Be sure to let them know that your boy Hotter sent you. And of course, Meanbeard, MB15TJH is my discount code. And hit me up and I'll give you some recommendations there. I've done enough blabbing. I'm going to sign off here today. And I'll catch you next time on The Hotter Show. Take it easy, guys.